Bonjour tout le monde et bienvenue chez Parfum Prononcé, Parfum Prononcé. Je m'appelle Jérôme. Jérôme, je suis ravi de vous avoir avec moi aujourd'hui. Happy to have you all with me. Et aujourd'hui, today, je vais vous parler de. Today, I'm going to talk to you about. Wait a sec. Attendez. Just wait 1 second. I'm sorry. Uh, Chers amis, my friends here, je viens de recevoir un message. I just received a message. Et c'est marqué urgent. C'est urgent. It's urgent. Partagez le suivant avec tous vos proches. Urgent. So basically, share the following with anyone you care about, your close people. Je suis désolé. Sorry. Mais je dois le lire. I have to read this. It's it's a text. Ok. Le texte c'est en français. The text is in French, mais je vais essayer de mettre les sous-titres dans la vidéo pour mes auditeurs anglophones. I'll try to put some subtitles in the video for people who don't speak French, but le message c'est en français, donc je dois le lire en français. I have to read it in French. Ok. Ok. Le titre du message ou situation grave. So, ok, yeah. Situation grave. Après des années et des années de presque tout silence, d'inactivité, et malgré le danger, un meurtrier a été mis en liberté. Et comme tout prisonnier à la sortie de prison, il est plus fort, plus musclé, plus puissant et beaucoup plus violent qu'avant son entrée. Né le premier d'une famille de tueurs dont les frères n'ont jamais connu la captivité, il tue à nouveau. Selon les témoignages de nombreuses personnes, son apparence est d'une espèce claire, forte, mêlée de sel et de minéraux, ayant l'air de la mer Méditerranée. Un spectateur voisin a même dit qu'il se comporte d'une élégance inexplicable jusqu'au moment de sa tuerie. Son nom, enfin, est ADG Eau de Parfum. Okay, yeah, so this video is about Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum. The new Eau de Parfum version that just came out for Acqua di Gio, the original, right? It came out in the 90s. They just came out, as you may probably already know or have seen other videos about this. They just released this, and it very recently became available in the United States. It was available elsewhere a little bit earlier. I think they had it in Europe first. But yeah, now it's here, and I was pretty excited about this one. I was waiting very, very patiently to acquire this bottle right here of Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum. So it came in the mail. I was super psyched. I was super psyched to get it. I wore it. I want to say that night, and then the next day I wore it. And it was great. It smelled it smelled like what I remembered. The original EDT of Acqua di Gio. There was a resemblance there. I want to say, but I never owned the original EDT. I never owned the original EDT. It was super popular when I was young, obviously, right around my teen years. But in my sort of quest or tendency to be a contrarian, I guess. I didn't. It wasn't one of the ones that I bought at the time. I was into Calvin Klein frags, because I also liked Calvin Klein, like, I don't know, like the underwear, all the, the advertisements for that. I'm a big fan of Calvin Klein underwear. I think I'm wearing a pair of Calvin Kleins right now. I'm never without my Calvins. But anyway, yeah. In any case, Calvin Klein was like, I don't know. It just seemed like more popular to me, because there were a number of them, and I maybe the advertising campaigns were a little bit more intense, or more frequent, or more ubiquitous, like you saw them more or whatever. And then, I could also wear, and have the little tag that says, Calvin Klein underwear, that kind of thing. So it kind of fit, it was like accessorizing the brand, I guess, with it. So yeah, I was more into Calvin Klein frags, Eternity, Escape, man. I think those were the two main ones that I had. Eternity, and then obviously CK1 when it came out a little bit later. But I never was a major fan of CK1 when it came out. But I bought it because it was like, everybody was wearing it. So anyway, I never purchased the original Acqua di Gio EDT. I was I was jealous of it, I guess, in a sense, or kind of like resentful of it, because I decided that I was a Calvin Klein guy, and that, I was gonna wear Calvin Klein fragrances, and so I kind of was like, nah, whatever. I'm not gonna buy that, or whatever. Even though I did, admittedly, the EDT was awesome, and it was great. Yeah, and I had friends who wore it. I had friends who bought it and wore it, and it was super popular. The girls loved it. Girls absolutely loved it. But yeah, so so I didn't have a very intimate knowledge of the original EDT, and having never owned it, and then throughout my fragrance, I don't know, collecting experience, I never really looked for it. I never really wanted to reach for it or buy it. I never had the urge to. Yeah, until honestly, until this new eau de parfum came out, and then having worn this new one, and having enjoyed it, right? Having enjoyed the smell of it, and it's, I can detect the similarities with the other members of the line, the other flankers. It made me want to kind of compare it to the original EDT. And I know, I understand that nowadays the original EDT that's on the shelves now is, reformulated, and it's, people complain to the nth degree about its longevity and how it's just no longer a performer, all that kind of stuff. And in my experience, because I have, in those moments, in those days after receiving this and wearing this or whatever, I did purchase a 1.7 ounce bottle of the EDT, that's from 2021 or something, something like that, like a newer bottle. And I think some of the talk about its lack of performance is a little bit exaggerated. However, there is some truth to it. It does lack. I mean, it does lack. Like, you're not getting what you got back in the day, like, for sure. I mean, I remember the EDT like being a freaking nuclear. Like, I remember I was even at the point. I think I remember I was way younger. And I know what it smelled like. And I remember I was sitting in a movie theater, and this dude and him and his buddies came in, and they sat like in front of me. And one of the guys smelled so much like he took a bath in the EDT, and it was so much, it was distracting. And it was a movie that I was like really, because I love movies, and I was really into the movie, and I wanted to watch it, but it was like distracting. It was like obnoxious, and I was like, oh my God, this freaking guy. So yeah, that is no longer the case with the original EDT. Okay, it's not. I mean, this is just a little bottle, but you in order to get through a day, I mean, in all honesty, I don't know how you'd get through 8 hours of a day with this, honestly. Like go absolute ham and spray your clothes to the point where they're like wet, probably, and you might still be picking it up at the end of the day. But this is like a 3-hour scent. Like honestly, in terms of projection and other people noticing it, like even if you go ham, I mean 4 hours, 5 max, and that's going ham. That's like going ham on it, like using a bunch. Um, so yeah, it does lack, it does lack. But the top is still, the top is still there. It's still, to me, it smells like, the Aqua di Gio of old. The EDT does. It just, like I said, it just lacks that performance, that you had with that original. So despite the fact that everybody just craps all over it, and oh my god, it's not even worth buying anymore, blah 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 blah, like it's gonna, this, I haven't, there's another summer scent that I enjoy that's in the similar vein of this, and it's Versace Pour and I may have mentioned this before in terms of like its relation or similarity with the Aventus cologne that I had bought and then sold. There's a similarity there, but honestly, Versace Pour I mean, that's not an all day scent either, like at all. Like it's not. It'll last maybe a little bit longer than this one, but this is an aquatic, summer, fresh, citrusy, floral, musk scent. And I mean, I get that it used to be a bomb, but now it's not, and I don't really fault it for that. I really don't. There's probably some things, maybe things got banned or whatever, or maybe they just watered it down because they don't care about it anymore and they're just trying to, I don't know, save money, because raw materials, and when it comes to perfumery, I mean, it's all about, I mean, the business of perfumery is the business of the raw materials. I mean, that's it. Like that's where the money, that's it, right? But in any case, I don't really fault it for that, and I mean, it's still pretty. It's still pretty today. It's still nice today. You know what I mean? So anyway, so all right, so I got the eau de so I purchased the eau de parfum. I wore it, enjoyed it, and it made me want to kind of dip back into the EDT to kind of compare and see, did it hit it? How close was it? So that way I can kind of navigate through all the noise that you're going to hear about this and its relation to this, right, to the original, because this is a staple of men's perfumery. Like, I mean, I don't know if there's anything bigger. I mean, people talk about Sauvage, right? Currently being the perfume that is the highest grossing in terms of sales. I don't know where these people are getting their numbers from, because sales numbers for perfume, like I tried to look for them, and they're not, like, I don't think they get published a lot. Like they keep that like pretty close to the vest, I want to say. I could be wrong. Maybe they publish, maybe certain brands or retailers publish their sales numbers, but like, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess it's common knowledge that Sauvage is the highest selling fragrance, but like, I haven't seen any data. I'm just going with it because I mean, everybody talks about it, everybody wears about it. It's a very popular scent, and it seems like it would be true, right? Just like this one, I believe that this is probably the largest, biggest selling men's fragrance of all time, like of all time, probably, yeah. And then Sauvage is the current champ, probably. But again, like I said, like I've never seen sales numbers. Like I don't. Where is that info? All these people who are talking about this. But yeah, maybe it's just one of those things that you just kind of agree with because it's probably true. Okay, so I should talk about the other ones that I own as well. I don't own Profondo. I don't own that one. I tried it. I was gonna buy it. I tried it in a Macy's, and in all honesty, and this was before I got into the modern flankers, the newer flankers for Acqua di Gio, for the line. And Profondo was the only one I tried. I didn't try Profumo. I didn't try Absolu. I didn't try, and then Profondo Lights hadn't even come out yet at the time that I was testing Profondo. I sprayed that on a card, I want to say, and I sprayed it maybe on my wrist, and it just smelled a little bit too much like they were trying to rip off Bleu de Chanel. And for that reason, I was like, I didn't need to spend the money, right? I had Bleu de Chanel. I had the EDT, and I think, no, I had the Eau de Parfum, and yeah, that was the only version I had. I had originally gone through a full 3.4 ounce bottle of the EDT, um, and that was one of the few actual bottles of perfume that I actually ever went through. But yeah, I went through that one, and then I bought the EDP after that. So I own that one, and when I smelled Profundo, I was like, it's super nice. I mean, it's a great scent. But it just smelled a little bit too similar to me to the Bleu de Chanel, like a take on Bleu de Chanel. So I didn't buy it. I didn't pull the trigger. And then okay, in terms of acquiring these new flankers of the Aqua de Joe. The first one that I bought, because like I said, I never owned the EDT, and this Eau de Parfum just came out. So my first purchase of an Aqua de Joe was, believe it or not, it was Absolu. It was the one that doesn't get a lot of hype at all. It doesn't get a lot of attention. People don't really talk about it. But it's this one right here. Uh, Aqua di Gio Absolu. I've never tried the Instinct one, the Instinct. I don't know, Instinct. It's Italian, I guess, or so. I don't really need to pronounce it with a French accent. But the Absolu, which I will pronounce with a French accent. But yeah, so this one, I'm a huge fan of this one. And this is the one that introduced me to what I like to think of as the base, like the core of that is present in all of the modern flankers, and in this new one, this new Aqua di Gio de Parfum. There's a base, there's an element, and it probably has a lot to do with like where they're sourcing their materials, and they're working with a particular company or whatever, and also the perfumer. I don't know if Alberto Morias did this one. I don't know which ones he's done. Maybe he's done them all. I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head, but this one introduced me to that vibe that you can detect. In all of them, in all of the modern flankers. This one's a little sweeter. It has Invictus vibes. However, this one has a very unique quality to it, that it does have the sweetness. And so people, I don't know why it doesn't get more attention. It does have sweetness, but it's not overly sweet. And it's got the freshness. It's got that weird, sort of inexplicably mineral salty-ish vibe, kind of mixing in with the sweetness. And this is a beast performer. I get excellent performance out of this. Really terrific performance. And I think it works in it works in warm weather. I can wear this in cold weather. Excuse me. I can wear this. I can wear this whenever. It's just a workhorse, in my opinion, and it's very, very pleasant. And you can go nuclear with this. And it's not going to choke anybody out. It's going to smell strong, but it's not going to be one of those frags that's like, oh man, or you're not going to make anybody sneeze or anything like that. So yeah, this was the first one of the modern flankers that I bought and sort of very much enjoyed. And I got a super great deal on it. They were having some kind of a sale where you buy the bigger bottle, and you got like the smaller bottle with it. So you basically got two. I think I got two bottles of it for, I don't know, $120 or something like that, and whatever Macy's was charging. So anyway, that one. Don't sleep on this one either. Don't sleep on this one. This is a performer. This is a good scent. I am a personal big fan of this. So I own that one. And then there was so much talk about Profumo, and people were saying, "Oh my God, this is the best Aqua di Gio ever! Like, you got to get Profumo. It's killer. It's got this patchouli with the incensey. It's like a darker take on that sort of original mineral-ish, sea salty vibe, oceanic vibe that is the aqua of the Aqua di Gio." And so, I got that one because that's what I do. And again, you can detect that that base, that core that's at the center, at the middle of all these flankers. This one's got major patchouli and incense, and I mean it's darker, obviously, and it's a beast mode performer, absolutely terrific performer. It'll 100% get you through the day. Like this is truly a great fragrance, truly a great fragrance. I don't know if it's blind buy worthy unless you are already familiar with the line and you know kind of that it's going to have that patchouli and that incense and that sort of darker vibe to it. But if you're already a fan of all the others in the line, this is a hitter right there. Excellent scent. And then after that, I acquired my personal favorite, because it's the one that took the Acqua di Gio DNA and took it in the aromatic direction. So like we're talking like rosemary, clary sage, fir vibes, balsamic-ish. But yeah, you get me cypress, you get me anything in those lines with the rosemary, cypress, clary sage, anything like that, and more the aromatics, and I'm an absolute sucker. And so I bought this guy. I bought this on first sniff. Again, that DNA is still there. I can't quite articulate it. I'm not a perfumer. But that DNA is still there, but this one takes it, the Profondo Lights takes this one to that aromatic route, I guess. And it's oh God, I just love those scents. I love those scents. Anything that has like any sort of aromatic, rosemary, clary sage, cypress, anything along those lines. And then that being mixed with the power, I think, and the just kind of the natural, I don't know, what makes the rest of the line great. They perform well, and they smell terrific. So I was able to, I mean, it just hit all the bases for me. It really did. So I love this one. I bought a backup bottle of this. Once I heard that this one, there was a lot of rumors and talk that this is going to be discontinued if it hasn't already. And when I went on like their website, the Armani website and others, like there was like not available, or the big bottle wasn't available or something, or maybe it was Macy's. And once you see that, like when the brand itself has no longer stock of a particular size or whatever, like you start to wonder. And then people were saying like this, I think there was a conversation that somebody got a hold of an Armani rep, and they were like, the Profumo is going to be discontinued. We're really sorry that, we love this fragrance, but it's going to be discontinued. So, yeah, anyway, so with that in mind, I have a huge bottle of Profumo, and my collection is big enough that's going to last me years. So I didn't need to buy a backup bottle, but that had me thinking that, oh my gosh, like what is going to come next on the shopping block? And if it's Profondo Lights, like I'm buying a backup bottle. So I bought the backup bottle of Profondo Lights. And then this guy, and then having enjoyed all those three, the Absolu, the Profumo, and the Profondo Lights, having enjoyed those so much, I was really anxious to try the Eau de Parfum. And I'll talk a little bit about the presentation. You can see the bottle. It's very nice. It's a heavy glass bottle. No mag cap, but I don't care really. As long as the cap itself is not a piece of crap, like a flimsy little junk. As long as it clicks into place, which it does, and you can pick up the bottle with the cap, I'm pretty good with that. Like I don't need a mag cap. And this is a wood cap. It's got the Giorgio Armani logo on the top of it, and then the atomizer has it on the top. So yeah, all right. So let's get into it. I'm just going to talk about the differences. I'll spray the original EDT on my left wrist, and I'll spray the Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum on my right. Just a little spray. Don't need much, right? So much Acqua di Gio. Okay, this one. Okay, the EDT is it bites. It's sharper. It's sharper being an EDT. It's got the floral. It's got that floral aspect to it. The musk, sea salt mineral type vibe that you're going to get with Acqua di Gio. Wonderful. Wonderful. But even in these instances, I can feel it. You can tell it's going to fade. Okay. And now, okay. So, all right. So the eau de parfum is different. Okay. The eau de parfum is different. It's stronger. I want to say it's a little darker. And it doesn't have the sharpness that the EDT does. Obviously, it's an eau de parfum, so that, that's going to probably account for a little bit of it. And you can sense that common DNA that sits in the middle of all the flankers that are currently available. That's there. But what I like about this one is that it took that DNA, whereas the base DNA with the Absolu, you went in the sweet direction. With the Profumo, you went in the incense patchouli direction. With the Profondo Lights, you went in the aromatic section, that vein or that route. This one, mineral, and I want to say floral. I know that's been tiled back, and there's not as many notes in the note pyramid that this one is, at least published anyway. But it has that sort of florally aspect to it, the C notes kind of thing. Yeah, like this is almost gone. This one's still kicking. Yeah, so they are similar, but they are different, okay? This is not the exact same thing. The eau de parfum is not the exact same EDT that you had when you were younger, just beefed up. It's not. It's different, but they are similar. They are similar, and I like this one. I like what they did with this one because they tried to address, I think, in my opinion, they tried to address some of that floral aspect, the white floral that was in the original. Along with all the other elements. This one addressed that, and they included that as part of it. Now I'm not going to tell you that it's like it's this flower bomb. Obviously it's not, but when I wear it, I get vibes from that. I get like a little bit of like white florally ishness from it when I wear it, and so that's when I understood it, and I was like, okay, that's what they did. They took the modern DNA. They tried to make it as similar as possible, but with what they could do with what they have, their materials and stuff like that. They tried to make it as close as possible, as close as they could within reason to the original. And in my mind, it's that musk, florally, Acqua di Gio essence, I guess. Not essenza, but essence in it that is really enjoyable. In terms of wearing it, it's good enough. It'll get you through the day, okay? I personally haven't found it to be like an absolute like room filler necessarily. But again, that's the nature of it. It's an eau de parfum, right? So it's not going to be quite as poppy off the skin as the EDT. The nature of it is being an eau de parfum, it's gonna radiate, it's gonna project in its early period, but then it's gonna stick a little bit closer to the skin, have a little bit. The bubble is gonna be a little bit more intimate, right? But it's still gonna be there. You're still gonna get wafts of it throughout the day. The performance is good enough. I will tell you that the performance is good enough. It's not fantastic, to be totally honest. In my personal opinion, it's not like the longest lasting thing that you're ever going to try, but it is competent. And I would tell I am not disappointed that I bought it. Like even for the money that I paid, for the bigger bottle. I'm not disappointed at all with this. I'm not disappointed with the performance, with how it hangs around. You know, it's not the EDT. It's not a room filler. You know, it's not made to go everywhere and to project everywhere. You know, it will project in its infancy, like in its early stages, but then it's going to probably sit close to the skin. But in any case, yeah, it got me through the day, and I was pretty happy with it. I was pretty happy. I could smell it on me. At the end of the day. So all things considered, I think it's a success. I'm glad that they released it. I'm glad that I bought it. It's not exactly the same as the EDT, like I said, but it's similar enough, and I can appreciate how they tried to make it similar to the EDT and what they did with it. And again, I don't even know which floral notes are even a part of the pyramid at all, you know. But for me personally, when I smell it, you know, I tend to think it has that floral aspect that the original had, which was so great, you know. And so that's a part of it, you know. That's what they addressed with this one. And obviously having the stronger concentration is probably, I mean, everybody's doing that now with their frags, you know, their lines, eau de parfum, le parfum, l'élixir, etc., etc., right? Yeah, so yeah, again, I think it's a success. I don't think you should hesitate buying it. Would it be redundant if you already have a couple of the others? I mean, that depends on your budget. I don't think it's redundant. I don't. I'm glad I bought it. And I mean, the EDT for me right now is like a gym bag scent. Like when I'm done with my swim, like I'll just keep this in my bag, and I'll just, you know, just smell decent when, you know, afterward or whatever. Like this isn't like something that I'm gonna like put on in the morning and like expect to get me through the day. Like that's just not it. Or, you know, for nostalgia purposes, sometimes at night, you know, especially in the summer, you know, I'll just go ham on it and just kind of get those nostalgic vibes that this will give you, you know. But yeah, they are similar, but again, they're different. And I know that may not be super helpful, but you know, it's a quality scent. Not disappointed with it at all. So yeah, that's my take on Acqua di Gio, the new eau de parfum. I say it's a buy. I'd say it's a buy. I really do. I mean, if you like Acqua di Gio, if you have any of the other modern flankers, if you like the Senza even, which I've never even had my nose on. But if you've liked the Absolu, the Profumo, the Profondo Lights, or Profondo itself, then this is going to be right up your alley, in my personal opinion. And again, each one of these variants have their own style, their own take on their original DNA, or on what, you know, on whatever commonality they have with one another. They each kind of play in their own direction. They play in their own sandbox, I guess, in a way. So ça c'est tout. That's it. Et avant de vous quitter, before I leave y'all, je dois dire merci. I have to say thank you. Merci à vous tous. Thank you to all of you for watching, for whatever, liking, for whatever. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I hope you found it informative, at least somebody's take on it, that has experience with it. Et puis, lastly, a message for je ne sais pas, mes spectateurs, mes auditeurs francophones, for my French-speaking viewers, listeners. Okay, here we go. C'est le vrai mondeur. Et dans le vrai monde, on porte du parfum. Déjà. God bless. Au revoir. Merci. À la prochaine.